Hey everybody, hope you can see me. I'm not sure if you can. Let me just see here. There we go. Hi everyone. A little bit old school today, and just with time and networks crashing, I was not able to produce a high definition video for you today. So, um, again, going a bit old school through my laptop. So I thank you for your patience with that. And I just wanted to talk today about two topics that really go hand in hand, but are kind of difficult to live up to. And one of them is just living in alignment. And what does that mean exactly? Well, this is having your actions and, as much as possible, everything that you interact with and everyone that you interact with in your life, supporting your higher self and your higher purpose, your life purpose, if you will. And the one thing that I would say to you is that sometimes when we're children, you can hear the children playing here right down around me, is that when we're little, just like when we hear the little ones playing, we don't have all of the filters and the blocks and the you can'ts initially. And connecting with your higher self is that of being able to be within yourself, you know, to be quiet. And it's very difficult in a noisy world with many demands. It's very difficult with, well, just with everything going on. So, the best way that I could tell you is that when you begin to go to live in alignment, connecting with that higher self begins with just that what I call that resonance, that knowing inside. And this is when you run into somebody or situation and just deep inside, you know if something or someone is good for you, not good for you. Again, it defies the emotions, it defies, the mind chatter. But connecting, it takes time. When you are connecting with your higher self, making sure that you are in a space that is, well, unlike this one, quiet, where you can feel your feelings, calm your thoughts, breathe, and just open your mind, calm the mind. And in the beginning, give yourself patience. A lot of people go, well, I'm not there yet. Am I there yet? Andy says no. It can take a good maybe 5 minutes or so just to quiet the mind and to be within your space. Feel your energy, feel who you are, and then begin to reflect on what gives your life a sense of satisfaction and meaning. And then from there, begin to contemplate the different people and activities that you have in your life. Is to, are they truly supportive of what you feel is your greater sense of expression of self and greater purpose? The other reason why it's really key to connect with the higher self is with that, you also are communicating with that inner voice that will guide you and navigate you in real time, despite the craziness that might be around you, when you are making decisions. It's that sense and that feeling. I have to laugh. They're doing, the little ones are doing wolf howls, and the wolf talks about being the teacher and listening. So I think that's kind of funny that the kids are choosing to do that. So from here, though, that connection with that higher self is not only that inner knowing of what truly is you, what truly fits that higher purpose that you're going to be living, also has you in communion with the creator and the creation. And from there, once we touch this universal space, it is almost impossible to come from a place that is not born of compassion. It is almost impossible to not come from a space of empathy for another. So understand that as you're living your life purpose, what gives you that sense of fulfillment, of contributing to the greater good, part of being able to contribute to the greater good is being connected to it. And I'm not talking necessarily the noise of society. That's part of it too. That's part of the vehicles that we have, like here, right? Social media. So once you have that greater connection to the creator, the creation, the universe, however you see it, Whenever you find something that you wish to engage with that is part of your higher purpose, your higher calling, it will feel correct or off. That's just the one thing that I would have to tell you right there. From that point, when you say, well, higher purpose, well, Skyfire, how do I go more into that? Well, I'm going to be making another video that's going to go more step by step with that. But I just want to give today basics. So getting into that quiet space, being within your own self, and just getting that sense of this feels correct within me, deep within me. This allows me to connect beyond myself to the greater good so that your decisions, because after all, what's the point of following a higher purpose if it doesn't help to connect to a greater good? With integrity, integrity is, if you will, one of, I would call the first warrior of living in alignment. And why do I call it a warrior? Well, warrior in First Nation sense is not just a sense of war and this. A warrior knew how to stand in times of peace as he did in times of defense. So what integrity is, in its broadest sense, is that where you are consistent with your actions and your thoughts, regardless of situation. But it also talks about, in order to be able to act with integrity, integrity is the first warrior of living in alignment because it helps to protect and set good boundaries, the boundaries of the self versus the needs of the others, again, creating that balance. It is, a warrior has a sense of honor, honoring yourself and what you stand for. And a true warrior has a sense of justice and a sense of also compassion, of a greater heart, standing with honor with self, honoring self, but also for a much greater good. So when you are with integrity, this would mean to operate from that space of not only consistency of word and deed, but with that sense of honesty, that sense of owning what is yours, not what is somebody else's, and following through with your words. So I want to say again, so grateful to those of you who are here, and I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for being with me. And I love the purple hearts, purple being one of my favorite colors. Indy likes them too, my macaw. So, but it can be difficult sometimes. In this society, uh, in some ways, we are very fortunate. We are able to display more of who we are with gender identity, being able to be more proud of whatever heritage or race that we come from. But I also want to talk about integrity typically in an environment that may not allow you to have that. What do I mean by that? Well, this is what I would say to you. Say that you are, and some of us grew up this way, where showing who you truly are could cause for you to either be ridiculed or attacked, even, and you worry about these things. So what I'm going to put the caveat, I'm not talking about when we need to have different personas that we present as far as for the workplace and so forth. But even there, you can still have integrity. Those qualities of honesty, kindness, compassion, empathy, and following through with what you are saying is very, very important in a sense. Even if you are not allowed to demonstrate entirely who you are, and I'll mention a very common place where that happens, you can still be your best self. That is a part of integrity. And I'll mention to you one thing that was happened to me in my past. So some of you may or may not know that once upon a nightmare, once upon a long ago, I came from a corporate background. And being a shaman and having First Nation beliefs, especially in a culture that is very strongly Judeo-Christian, or at least worships in corporate, they worship money. This was considered to be freaky. I'll politely use that word. So with that aspect of myself, I could not share freely with the people who were there. They were of a different culture. This was not welcome. but still being friendly, still sharing the views of it having a universal heart is where I would come from. Uh, it was within customer service that I would do. And being consistent with offering that same respect, regardless if it was somebody who was calling me about an issue that they were having, to the people who were along with me. I'm going to say at first it was my coworkers, and then as I rose in the ranks, the people who worked with me and other managers. And then ultimately, though, the part of integrity, even though that it's not anything that I could really speak, was still following the beliefs of Six Nation. You know, the beliefs of the Red Road, which is the balance of the elements, thinking of the energy it takes to do something. What mindset do we have? What is the energy? What's the emotional impact of what I'm going to see next to these people? And physically, what's going to be the outcome? And of course, spirit being the greatest. What is ultimately the greater good that I wanted it to come out for the person whom I was helping, for the people who are working within my teams, and ultimately to serve the corporation within an ethical way that I was doing. So that's why I wanted to share with you that even if you are in a setting that would have you suppress part of yourself, you can still live in integrity. How would living in alignment go with that? Well, obviously, being in corporate was not part of my higher calling. Okay, which I'm grateful why I'm here. But in that higher purpose, that higher calling, I consider my corporate life to be a training for that. It was probably one of the most alien of environments to me. I won't lie. But I learned that people are people, no matter where they come from. All kinds of personalities and how they operate was a wonderful education. Learning to operate within a completely different culture, to learn how to speak to other cultures around the world, and every heart it's its own universe, and learning how to reach beyond that. So with that, I could still remain in integrity, still that higher purpose, that higher calling of being as one who helps people solve their problems, to try to bring peace to people, was something that I was living even in the middle of a very alien and sometimes a very hostile environment. Let's face it, corporate America is not the place of the warm and the fuzzies. And I'm sure a lot of you work in places that are the same thing. Warm and fuzzy is not typically what they think about when dealing with their employees. They're not typically about their customers, unless if it's to getting to the bottom dollar, the bottom line thing. So what I would share with all of you during this week, especially within this thinking where, you know, when everything's been brought to the surface and whirling around like crazy, you can see what is out of alignment, what doesn't serve you, what, if you allow for it to remain in your life, can divide you, and even unintentionally have you live hypocritically. Once you see this, begin to bring forward parts of your personality and use every day as an opportunity to develop skills and communications that go in alignment with your higher purpose, your higher calling. It doesn't matter that you don't know, that you could put it in 2 sentences. Remember, this is a process of learning and growing. And I would have to say that sometimes it was very difficult. It was very, very difficult at times. But I would say to you, try to come from that place of a greater love. Not always easy. But remember, ultimately, if you do act from a place of higher purpose, I'm not talking about acting like an elite, it's just, again, if you do come from that place of integrity, which includes a place of true humanity, and part of integrity is vulnerability. I know a lot of people don't think of it that way, but it is being your authentic self as much as you can be within the framework that you are in, and being true to your word is the steps of growing and getting there. So that's why I wanted to say, so I'm reading here, but I've been saying that let me see, I'm just reading here a couple of comments that been surrendering and just being seriously, and this is from Taylor Green. These past years, I've let go this upkeep and expectation of being. And yeah, so in other words, it is more of a way of being versus keeping this impossible high standard that can cause you difficulty. Integrity is one of knowing that you're being true to yourself while being very conscious about the impact of your words and your actions. And I'll tell you something that's very lovely and that is very true. When you come from that place of living to your higher purpose as much as you know of it, from the place of walking with that first warrior integrity who honors and protects that higher purpose, that higher calling, when times become bewildering as they are right now, and to my bird because it's getting dark, you will find that your good karma and your good reputation will precede you. And I promise you, my friends, it will always come back to you. It always, always is. And I have to agree with Jerry Small, and again, thank you for being here, that releasing of just that locking in those harsh judgments of yourself and of others. Making decisions, yes, absolutely, we have to. We have to use that in order to make healthy boundaries. But again, embracing the humanity of yourself and of others. So with that, when the sun starts going down, Indiana Jones, my macaw, is sure that the flying jaguars are going to come for him. So that way that he doesn't wake the entire neighborhood again with the small kids going to bed. I wanted to say, Wanishi, thank you so much for being with me today. And again, from my heart to yours, bright blessings. Thank you so much. And again, for others, if you know who could benefit from the sharing, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. So bright blessings to you and to yours. And Indy says good night. Take care.